fortune, fame, mirror vein, gone insane, but the memory remains.
Alrighty, so hello and welcome to this would be 13 of the letter. Last we left off, we finished Ashton's storyline, and now we're at Luke fucking Wright. And I really don't want to play this. I kind of stopped caring once we got to Ash's storyline because I really don't like Luke. Honestly. I mean, I've been flip-flopping throughout the entirety of the game, but, you know. We have finally settled on I don't like him. And I never did look at how long. Oh, you fuck. Okay, so. Yeah, it looks like we're stuck with Luke for a while. God damn it. Another long and exhausting day at work, and I still have much to do. Sometimes I wonder why I still bother. I can surely afford to retire, leave the business to trusted colleagues, even if they make enough to only break even. Or even if they make enough to only break even, I have enough money to last us a lifetime or three. I could send 7 children to college if I had any. Not that I plan to. But the problem is obvious, isn't it? I don't trust any of the lot. It has to be me because they might get it wrong. I don't want to retire and suddenly wake up one day and find that everything has gone down the shitter. Maybe I should hire Mikalo as a personal assistant. She is capable and trustworthy enough. Oh good, this isn't gonna last very long. Shit, maybe I should be excited. It's hard to find someone who isn't trying to butter me up and trying to curry favor. And to curry favor with me.
Christ, I'm knackered. Who do I have to kill to have fewer problems around here?
I'm not really allowed to complain. I chose this path. But that doesn't stop me from doing so as I throw my shoes off and let them land wherever they please. Petty, maybe, but there's a certain joy that comes with stepping on a carpeted staircase with nothing but my socks on. October 29th. What happened on the 29th? Okay, well, that's kind of what I expected. That Luke would start seeing some changes, like some freaky shit after Hannah gets possessed. And with it being, night, you know, and this haven't happened this morning or sometime in the afternoon, with Hannah. Yeah, he's probably starting to start seeing some shit. I accept no distractions. I can call up Shirokin? Is that his name? Shirok? Oh, fuck it. For a sandwich, but that's probably it. God damn, I'm only 4 minutes into the damn recording and I'm already yawning. It's every time I start reading. I've got a suitcase filled with contracts to check over and sign before I can retire for the night. I'm also waiting for a call from Suarez for any new updates regarding the IT leaks. Real cause for concern. It's the reason there have been investigations on me. Had it been a new thing, I would let it run its course. But it's been going on for far too long. Near 3 years. For me to just take on a pensive role in the affair. I've only kept my head this far because I've managed to mitigate most of the damage with several favors and some grand puppeteer to ensure the high-profile law enforcement and government officials kept me out of trouble. But who knows how long it can stay that way. Powers are shifting in the currents, and the current can be unpredictable. This whole exit business is already shaking things up and upsetting the balance. It's only with great care that I stay where I am, but the smallest of efforts can unravel all that I've done. It certainly won't help if I'm being accused of things, whether I'm guilty of them or not, because some computer chump thinks he can play a game with me. And, well, shit, it'd be a miracle if I could get some sleep tonight, though that is hardly surprising news. But before I can even take a step into my study, a voice from the bedroom calls out to me.
Luke, darling, you're finally home. Why don't you be a dear and come in here?
And I hesitate for a moment. I do have work to be done, but I suppose greeting my wife as I get home is only proper. I've already been gone for most of the week unless I need to be here for work on the house. So with a sigh, I head toward the bedroom. I got worried for a second. Like, oh, editing, lovely. It was like that one moment, like, whenever I saw this area. And funnily enough, that's actually where I was looking, because that's where the beginning of the sentence was, so. And there is seriously something wrong there. The feeling that came to me as I entered the rooms are definitely mixed. But one, I am somewhat floored by the sight that greets me. Then there's confusion, exasperation is strangely there as well. But as to be expected, there is desire. She is a divine goddess, yada 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 yada. Or rather, she is a horrible temptress. What man wouldn't be attracted to that? I guess they could be a sausage jockey. What the fuck is that? Whatever. But that's beside the point, and is not relevant to the situation I find myself in right now. This is nice and all, but why does she have to go do this now of all nights?
My love, the bed is awfully cold without you.
We got a fucking trophy called Slutty Hannah. Oh. If I didn't know I fucked up, I would probably say this would be a win for Luke. And I'm seriously need to go back and look at what that line is. The fact of the matter is, I've never seen Hannah all primped up like this since our first year of marriage. There must be something special to bring her to such an act. Our wedding anniversary has already passed, so that can't be it. Hannah's birthday is in April and mine's in August, so it can't be any of those. So what in bloody blazes brought this on? Is Hannah drunk?
Why don't you just, take a rest? I'll be busy all night.
Is that answer too cold? I don't mean it to be. She certainly does, but certainly doesn't.
Come on over and stop being a boring old man. Work can wait.
Maybe I can entertain her just for a while. It is a tempting idea, but no, I'll never get any work done that way. Well, to be fair, even if it was a choice, I wouldn't choose to sleep with her anyway, because, well, that's choice. I wouldn't sleep with her anyway, because, possessed and shit. And imagine how horrible it would be to get a call from Suarez in the middle of a shag. That would certainly kill the mood and piss me off more than anything. It'd be even worse if Kylie steals the phone from him, as a little ankle biter is prone to do so unless her father is locked in a room. Just thinking about the possibility is weird and turns me off from even trying it.
I'm afraid it can't, Buttercup. But hey, it's Sunday tomorrow. We can go out for dinner right after. Somewhere nice like that Italian restaurant you wanted to try out?
Why don't we skip dinner tomorrow and eat out tonight?
Whoa there, why don't we slow down? Looks like someone is in the mood, but hey, there's a time and place for everything.
Oh my god. I can't take this seriously. I grew up in a house where I can't even speak now. I grew up in a house where sex was a constant thing. It's just a thing that the body does, more or less. Sometimes it comes with social implications, supposedly, with paper-thin walls and a mother that. Oh. Horrid job of hers made me think that way. Oh. That's a bit dark. But I learned later on that it isn't the case for everybody. Suffice to say, this is really odd. For her, at least. I'm quite sure she never grew up in a sexually promiscuous home like I did. She grew up with a well-to-do, normal, and decent family. And in the 7 years that we've been married, she never acted this aggressively about sex. We do it when the mood comes to that, but never like this. And when I'm in the mood and she isn't, that's about the time I go around town and, well, I guess now I know that he did get, what was her name? Rochelle, the police chief's wife, pregnant. That's about the time I go around town and have my back scratched. I've got nothing to be guilty of, I believe, as long as it's just lust and not love. That's a good way to explain it, I guess. I'm just really confused and trying to come to grips with reality as it is presented to
Well,
me.
this is the place, but now is not a good time, darling. Like I said, I have plenty of important work to be done. Any other night, this would be great. Excellent, splendid. But not right now, okay?
I suppose if that's what you want. I can have my prince another time.
A chill runs up my spine when she calls me that again. My prince. Is she going through some midlife crisis? I know she's not the sort to play pretend with that sort of thing. Now that I think about it, this is probably some dream. Perhaps I've been exposed to something. Jesus, I've gone and fucked my own brain over. That can be the only explanation. Or at least the only explanation my mind wants to accept right now. But if it were, I should probably accept her offer, no? But on the off chance it isn't, I shouldn't. Either choice is fuck someone over, quite literally at that.
Yes, that's right. Another time. So if you could put your dress back on. It's really chilly right now, isn't it? You don't want to catch a cold if we're going out tomorrow.
Thankfully, she's done as she's told. Oh, well, I was expecting to be like right here. Unfortunately, she had to put her dress back on, so painfully and seductively slow, I suspect she knows the thing. I suspect she knows the thing she does to me. As much as I'd like to have the engine running, there are things to be done to make sure we can keep on enjoying a glamorous life as we do now.
I'm starting to think you don't find me beautiful anymore.
Right there. That's the problem. I wonder, if for some reason or another, if we can get that necklace away from her, she'd go back to being normal, and that would, fix one problem, because honestly, if I can't... It's like, I was sitting there thinking, this could be like some exorcist shit, and like the only way to fix it is to kill the host, and, all that shit, but I kind of thought about it. That necklace was kind of what ended up getting her possessed to begin with. Actually, no, it wasn't, because she was acting strange whenever she went to go get it. So, I don't know. Maybe the necklace does have something to do with it, but I don't know.
Is that what brought this on then? You are an angel, a goddess, Hana. Of all the flowers in this garden, you are by far the most beautiful and rarest of them all. Every bloke would want to be with you, and every lady would want to be you. I'm sure it goes the other way around too. I'm lucky to have you, and I don't know how you put up with the likes of me. I'm really sorry, darling, but it really isn't a good time.
Wow, that was actually kind of heartwarming coming from Luke. Except for the fact that I know he's a lying, cheating bastard who also kills people, probably. I don't know. I don't quite think little Luke is up for someone just yet either. Not after the blow he... Oh. Not after the blow. Not after the blow he had been dealt with by... Wait. Not after the blow he had been dealt by a violent ginger harpy. You can just cut that word out, and it would be the same sentence. It doesn't hurt me to see her upset because of something I've done or said. It always does. One can't always get his or her way, though. At least society would like you to believe, in order to soften the blow of disappointment. And I'll have to take their side on that just this once. Pulling her in for a hug and peck on cheek, I'm quick to pull away before I change my mind and make it more than that. I can at least give her those.
Chin up and smile. You'll get wrinkles frowning like that. And beauty sleep helps.
Of course, my prince. I suppose I can do with the sleep.
A smile that lights up her face is enough to make me forget about the oddity that had just transpired. I still can't understand the whole prince thing, though I let it slide for now. Seeing her with the golden locks and the silver dress, it almost makes her queenly, and due to respect to Her Majesty, of course. Despite that, there's just something off. Yeah, I can see what's off. Look at her eyes, and then look at the necklace. I mean, if this was like a normal game, I'd say that was eyeshadow, but I mean, I don't think so.
Hana, before I go, what happened to your necklace? The blue diamond.
The blue diamond? What other color is there? Oh, wait a minute, no. No, diamonds can be white, never mind. The fact that she seems confused feels
Whatever
off.
do you mean? Oh, that old thing. It's somewhere in the vanity drawer, I think.
And to be so aloof about
What?
it.
But wasn't that from your father?
It was a priceless heirloom, to be exact, handed down from one generation of Evans to the next. Whether it be to a wife or a daughter of the Evans, or of the Evans. I know that Hannah treasures it so, especially after it was given to her with her own mother's passing. Then what is with that ugly thing dangling around her neck? Looks more like a choking hazard than anything.
It was, of course it was. I just thought a change would be nice.
I don't think I've seen her wear anything else in its place. A change, it is, but not an entirely welcome one at that.
I see. I suppose that makes sense. Well, not that it matters, but I like the old necklace better. At the very least, we can have it cleaned and polished while you're not wearing it. Remind me to have that done in the morning.
Whatever you wish, my prince.
Right. You have a good night then, Buttercup.
With a shake of my head, I don't waste any more time than I've already done. Heavy suitcase in hand, I head straight for the study and dive right into the contracts. There's a whole stack of them too, mostly to do with property management. Nonetheless, careful words need to be put into them. As with everything else, my attorneys have already checked them over, but I like to be precise. I'm not going to sign if there's even a single line I do not like. It's a long way into the night when a coldness envelops the room. I suspect at first that it's merely just the usual chill, but the heaters have been turned on as the strange sunny weather that's been gracing us as of late has come to an end. The door is barely open, just a crack, though I shut it in case that might help. Satisfied, though not as much as I would have liked, the room still feels freezing. I make my way back into the mess of documents waiting for me at the table. Just a few more and I can get that well-deserved rest. Get out of this place and dive into warm comforts on my bed. Then maybe if Hannah's still up for it, well, it's more than enough motivation. Parking my rear end back on the chair, I begin my work with the last of the blasted papers, more than ready to be done with everything and turn in for the night, only for another chill to startle me to a stop. And that's when I feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. Eyes boring in the back of my head, a brush of air just at the nape, and when I glance back, right here, you just make out her silhouette. Reflected in the lone portion of the room, someone stands behind me. Just by the study door, I closed moments ago, though I did not hear it open. Perhaps it was Hannah trying to be sneaky, or Shrokin, fuck it, whatever, being a bell end of a spook as usual.
Do I really have to ask people to knock before they enter? Seriously now, this is anarchy, and I'll have you know...
I turn, but there's nothing.
Must have been a trick of the light. It is getting late, and I should really go to bed myself. Just have to finish looking over a few more contracts, and...
Yes, just finish signing these and I can have some rest. Maybe arrange for a day off in the morning. Sighing, I steel myself for a long night of dry paperwork. Still, the feeling that I'm being watched stays with me all throughout the night. October 30th. Let me take a look at the... Undiscovered journal entry? What do you mean undiscovered journal entry? Oh, fuck it, whatever. What happened on the 30th? Aside from, yeah, everyone gets together and... Alright. And with the sun rising comes another disturbance. Both too loud and too sharp for my taste. And I have a very fine taste. When the piercing rings of a doorbell reaches even the study, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only thing good in this is that the ruckus has chased away the needling guilt from last night's commotion, if only temporary. Still, it's a bloody annoying distraction. I can tell already that it's going to be a long day. It hasn't even started. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling myself off the chair and heading straight for the main door. There will be a murder today if this doesn't let up. How quaint. It seems like everything in this blasted universe is intent on getting in my last getting in on my nerves as of late.
Gordon Bennett! Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour!
In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. This is why I hired a valet, for fuck's sake.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
I'll be honest, if only for today. With the mansion this quiet at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those little ghost stories might be real. But the only horror here is how odd my own wife has been acting as of late. There's no place for fear when another set of problems already burns that fuel. So, I wait another second. When no butler still answers my calls, I simply yank the doors open myself, perhaps with more force than needed. And maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side and the hour he dared appear on my doorstep. Even someone with half a brain knows not to disturb someone this early. Brief confusion quickly gives away my anger, and before the bloody photographer can even get a word in, I'm hurling venom at him. It's less than he deserves, really. Hannah would disapprove, scold me for treating a photographer with such disrespect if she hears me right now. She seems fond of him, after all, despite meeting him only once or twice. He's merely doing his job, she'll say. But she's not here, is she? What she doesn't know...
You? How the hell did you get in here?
Yeah, there's a choice here.
What in seven hells do you want?
And I remember, and I'm going to make the same joke, too. Is that a Game of Thrones reference? Seven Hells?
It's bloody 6 in the morning!
Good for you. I get up at 4.
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time! Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't!
This is still my home. My rules also apply to this place as much as Hannah's do.
Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep.
It just so happens it's also a person I will never take a liking to. No need for remorse.
Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
He continues shouting even as I slam the door in his face. Some nonsense about the news lately, though I don't really understand most of it. However, with the closed doors muffling the better part of it, and with no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last too long. Eventually, he leaves and silence once again fills the room, as it should. In hindsight, maybe I should also call for psychiatric services. He certainly sounds mental just screaming like that. A suspicious man like him left roaming the immediate grounds, nothing good can come of it. But if his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come, I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worst, Shrokin will take care of it, if need be. It's what I'm paying him for. In the meantime, I need rest. Even for just a few hours. Not a choice. My lovely wife's still asleep, fast asleep, when I finally join her in bed. As odd as she's been acting lately, her company is nice after spending long, grueling hours going through business documents. Then again, it's not like I'd be losing out much. If I take a break or two. In fact, all I have to do is say the word, and Advanced General Electronics stocks are going to go down. That's the least I can do after Rochelle Vance's outburst during the party. I highly doubt she will be Roseanne Lee for long, not if Harvey has any sense in him. So with a sigh, I drift off, setting aside my problems, if only for a few hours. Waking up Waking up to find my bed empty hours later is a strange sensation. Not to speak ill of Hannah, but I've always woken up first, even in the early years of our marriage, mostly because I've always been accustomed in doing so. As a child, I woke up early to escape the house before one of Mother's scheduled day clients come in. Later on, it was to assist with breakfast and to prepare for school. And it just kept with me through the years for one reason or another. If there was no reason to wake up at 6 in the morning, my mind would always find a reason to work, to nurse a terrible hangover, to make sure I was the one leaving the bed first, just 'cause, and not the other way around. Ow. Checking the time on my phone shows that it's already 8:30, but what can I do about it? Getting up is an entirely different problem on its own. Waking up after getting only a few hours sleep in has my body stiff and sore from my mind feeling lethargic. A part of me wants to go back and doze off again, an alien feeling to me, but it's already far too late for my taste. All I can manage is to sit up before there's a knock on the door.
Yes, come in. I'm decent. I don't see why you have to knock.
Even if I was only in my knickers, there's only 2 others inside the house aside from myself. I've arranged for the staff to have the Sunday off, what with it so close to a holiday anyway, so that I can have some peace of privacy. Security. The security outside the house doesn't count, of course. There's no need for Hannah to knock, so I expect to see the butler and ready myself for reproach. To see that it's Hannah is odd, and not a cause for concern. Most likely she, too, found it strange for me to still be sleeping and had let me indulge. Yet there is something off. I can't put a finger on what it is. Whatever it is, it can wait. Besides, when there are strange things, it is better to wait them out, as they often become apparent with time. Not that I should complain when she greets me with a sunny smile on her face and a tray of food.
Good morning, dear. It looks like I overslept, huh? I haven't had that pleasure in a long while.
You should really indulge in it a bit more, my prince. I hope you do not mind, but I made breakfast for you.
I've been expecting her to tell me that she brought the meal up in order to eat together, not that she made it. For in all our marriage, Hannah had never cooked once, though I can barely find it in me to question her efforts unless she was trying to poison me. Perish the thought. But she carries with her a platter of pies, delicious-looking, round pockets of goodness. I have no second thoughts on fishing one off the plate with a hum. In fact, it smells divine, and it looks the part as well. Crust from outside looks like it has been baked with a golden and flaky perfection. The egg wash wasn't forgotten either, giving it a nice finish.
You made these? You're not pulling my leg, are you? These look great.
I make only the best for you, my love. Do try it out yourself, yes? I want to see what you make of it. Perhaps I will be able to prepare more meals for you in the future.
Breakfast in bed? You spoil me, darling. Well, I can't say no to that, can I? Bon appetit.
And this is Man, we're hardly into Luke's story, and I just don't fucking like it. I don't particularly want to keep going. Oh, what the hell? What'd I do? Okay, well, I just found out that Windows and H opens up fucking feedback help or some shit like that. So I have to be very careful when I'm trying to hit Windows and G when I'm trying to bring up my recording tab. Okay. The crust of the pie breaks easily with a bite, and I'm greeted with the taste of nice, buttery pastry. But looking back down at the pie, I feel a bit put off. Oh. So, I don't think I really need to say this, but that's a heart. Look at the valves. And then look at I forget what the technical term for that is called. That little side bit there. That's fucked up. The meat is red and a tad bit soggy, though I can't quite place what would make it that way. It tastes of turkey more than beef, though. An old one at that. There's no real sauce of marmalade to excuse the juice. What? Oh, marinade, not marmalade. What the fuck am I thinking? There's no real sauce of marinade to excuse the juice. It tastes like turkey that had been kept too long in the fridge after being roasted and carved. Definitely white meat Definitely white meat at the very least. And well done at that. The thing is tough though. Stringy and... the fuck is that word? Snewy? Oh, fuck it. Which would say it's more muscle than anything.
Ugh, what is...
I sputtered trying to spit out whatever it might be. A few fine strands of something thankfully comes out. Though, if I've swallowed any, it's far too late. Not unless I want to act like a cat trying to cough up a fur ball. It's just uncomfortable. The odd sensation of it being stuck in my throat still lingers, even as I down a glass of juice that she brought with it. Even as I down the glass of juice she had brought with the meal.
Buttercup, are you sure the ingredients you used are clean?
Oh, I do apologize. That must be... Chef has been feeding some stray cats lately. There are some roaming around the property. I saw him petting one just the other day during his break. Said he found it in the cellar, but you have nothing to worry about, my love. I took care of it.
She laughs then. Okay, so I might have been wrong. That's not a heart, but that is cat. That is cat. In fact, I am 100% sure that's cat. Not only that, I don't think she bothered to shave the hair off. That's probably what Either way, it's very fucked up. She laughs then, probably because of the funny look on my face. But I just have this funny image in my head of Hannah chasing after a cat to shoo it out. We aren't cat people, but I doubt that means she would be cruel to a feline.
Maybe the other pies are clean.
I don't quite have the appetite for breakfast anymore. But thanks. Bloody cats.
If that is what you wish, all the same, it will give me more time to spend with you. You will spend time with me, yes?
I did tell myself that I would let myself have a day off today. And she doesn't know, but she doesn't know that. And I can't help but feel that offness again, as her eyes burn through me. There's an eagerness there, a hunger, which makes my skin crawl. An unnatural reaction. Well, I would hope that would be an unnatural reaction. Your skin crawls because you're looking at your wife. I mean, Although this would be a pretty good time to, you know, not want to be around your wife, considering she's possessed by the grudge bitch, but, potato potato. I can do little else but nod, because answering otherwise seems the wrong thing to do.
Would it please you to have some tea then? I can fetch it if you wish.
Fucking hell, yawning. Pushing myself off the bed with a groan, I roll my eyes and sigh. The crick I feel in my neck is easily taken care of as I try to flatten my bed head to something a bit tamer. All throughout, Hannah's still watching me, expectant and doting.
No need for that. We can have tea in the parlor, if you don't mind. Really now, Hannah, there's no need to busy yourself over it.
Would it please you to have some tea then? I can fetch it if you wish.
What? Time out.
Would it please you to have some tea then? I can fetch it if you wish. Would it please you to have some tea then? I can fetch it if you wish.
Okay. The fuck? The fuck is going on with that? Seriously. Someone needs to figure this shit out.
Just relax.
I barely said 2 words before she's out the door, however, and I'm left speaking to air.
Hannah? What is up with that woman?
Goddamn yawning. I am trying to find the shortest path through this game, or through this chapter. Seriously, I do not like Luke, and I really do not want to keep playing as him. That is shaped like a heart. Look at that. Oh, come on. Fucking, okay. I thought the game crashed for a second. Yeah, that's what I thought. Fucking Luke and Ashton, Luke's storyline is longer than Ashton's. Ugh. Oops. Though perhaps I should have said no. Perhaps I should have feigned business or claimed a restlessness that would let me out of the house, away from her and her pies. Because as soon as I stated my intent to laze for the day, the woman would neither let me lift a finger nor set foot outside. She is animated, oddly so, moving about the parlor and fetching things for me that she deemed necessary, and were necessary, as if she knows what I need or want before I even voiced it aloud. A pillow for my feet, a book to read through, and a book for me to read through. I cannot for the life of me focus on it. It does not bother me so much that I've read The Picture of Dorian Gray twice over. I knew nothing but shadows, and I thought them to be real. I should be glad for the attention and the doting, really, instead, an uneasiness settles itself into my stomach.
Why don't you just sit down and relax, dear? We are supposed to be spending time together. I don't think you rushing around like a handmaid is how I pictured it. You are wearing yourself out, and the sun is still high in the sky.
There's a stiff jerk in her head, as if to say no while she busies herself with making tea and water already lukewarm. My instructions to take leave may be the only ones she refused to follow, even if I express concern for her well-being and point out that there are others assigned for these tasks she wishes to carry out. Damn, I'm having a bitch of a time getting comfortable right while reading this.
You do not need the others. You have me. I wish to show my usefulness, and I wish that you not ask me to leave.
You are not one of the servants, Hana.
It was a thought that escapes my lips, and I prepare myself for a reprimanding, because servants, Lucille Mitchell Wright. These are our employees, and you will treat them with respect at the very least. Yet that didn't.
Of course. Of course, I'm not a servant. I am your wife. Your princess.
I think we're both a bit too old to be playing princes and princesses. I do not know what brought on such behavior from her. Yet I can't bring myself to scoff at the idea. Not when she looks torn and kind words might bring her some degree of comfort. I will indulge in the delusional talk of monarchy to an extent. One would suppose that Hannah is indeed Luxborn royalty, after all.
Princess. Oh, no. You are my queen. And a queen needs to sit next to her king. So please, sit.
I can still feel them, little bugs on my skin, crawling and squirming. But I ignore them as Hannah sits down next to me and I put my hand on hers, in hers. The touch nearly makes me want to pull away. For now, I feel them burrowing into my skin, digging holes in me through, though there's nothing to be seen there. I clasp her hand through. Damn it. I clasp my hand through her. I clasp her hand, though her touch burns both cold and hot. I did not like the thought that Hannah, my sunshine, my darling, is someone I should fear. But it's a bit of a paradox for all I can do and should feel. For all that I do and should feel at peace in this quiet moment, dread overtakes every part of me. A small voice in the back of my head screams that there is something wrong, but I cannot bring myself to look further into it. The whole thing doesn't even last.
The tea is ready. I should go. I've forgotten the milk and sugar in the kitchens. If you may excuse me.
Honestly, I want to let her go, but I also don't want to be eating another cat. This is... oops. What's the relationship with her? Fuck it. It didn't even change the relationship, it just, changed the story. Oh god. This is gonna go fucking brilliantly. Just... bleh. I don't say a word as her hand slips through mine, and I'm left alone for a short while. My skin is numb while she is gone, and my mind wanders. My eyes roam to one of the paintings in the room. Lady and Lord Ormungard, I suppose. Or is it their daughter and her fiancé? I had agreed to the acquisition of this house on a whim, on a thought. It is just an added bonus that I share some likenesses with the young lord. I'm not so vain that I thought to look in a mirror only to find it's one of the very... I'm not so vain that I thought to look in a mirror only to find it's one of the old portraits. But can one blame me if I'm preying? With the chatty servants pointing out how I look, I can very well pass off as him with the hairstylist and a costume. Certainly a great big ego boost, though only a crazy random happenstance. To imagine that it is my face on. Oh, wait a minute. I see exactly what's going on here. The reason Hana was spared getting, the whole dead treatment was because the daughter was wanting to get back with her prince, and in this case with Luke. So that makes sense, strangely. To imagine that it is to imagine that it is my face on the oil canvas, having a commission befitting royalty. I believe that it is my face on the to believe that it is my face on those walls, and believe that I've always belonged here. To believe that I've never been a street rat. The sting and the buzzing returns, as does Hana. There's something really wrong, but what? Watching Hana set the table gives me some time to think. I suppose it could be paranoia. I've been informed of a particularly nosy investigator snooping about, and Suarez has yet to catch who leaked confidential information regarding my business. It could be any number of things, really. I have so many things to do after the impromptu day off. But as I was saying, or thinking rather, do not want to believe this is Hana. She is acting differently, but that's a thing humans do. We are not static creatures who act our day to day in the same manner as the previous one. I disagree with that. I believe humans are creatures of habit. I care greatly about her, and knock on wood. I care greatly on her, and knock on wood, I would hope that this odd behavior of hers is not an omen of things to come. That's called foreshadowing. At worst, this is merely behavior of hers I've only failed to notice before. I do blame the party, and that horrid Rochelle Lee. To prove her usefulness, she said, so that I do not send her away. It disturbs me greatly now that I watch her closely while she pours me a drink, but does not bother to have one for herself.
It's not that I'm criticizing your sudden initiative to be a housewife. That is your choice, of course. I admit I may be partly at fault. I've been neglectful and haven't shown my appreciation to you as of late. But you do know that you really don't have to do any of this.
I can see her hand shake as she offers me the cup. Did I strike a nerve? Whatever the case, I reach out and take the tea before she can drop it. No. As it turns out, I'm the one who would have ended up dropping the tea, though. Mercy of mercies, the tea was cold. On the other hand, Hannah's skin burned even more so than before.
No, please don't be angry. I'm so sorry, my prince.
A small cry escapes the woman's lips before she kneels down to clean it up, picking up porcelain shards from the carpet. It is then that I notice the light sheen of sweat dotting her forehead, the paleness of her skin, and just how sickly and dull she just seems overall. I stop her, grabbing her wrist with one hand and placing another hand on her forehead. She's burning.
Hana, don't! I think you should rest. Just sit back and...
The thing about people fainting is that you don't really get a forewarning. Oh, believe me, I know. And especially worse whenever you're the one fainting. It's not like in the film where everything slows down and you get to watch the other person's eyes roll in the back of the head. Actually, no. If you're expecting it, it kind of does, it's like in that moment, it's like it kicks adrenaline in, so, I mean, yeah. Like if you know to actively look for it, and whenever it does happen, it's like, it's like snapping the fingers, adrenaline hits, and it's like, yeah, you're reacting immediately. So it's almost like time slows down. What I'm trying to say is, if you fucking see it happening, and you know it's gonna happen, and the adrenaline kicks in, it is exactly like time slows down. Because you're fucking reacting faster. Damn. Can't fucking keep a straight thought today. Suppose someone can still be quick enough to catch the other as they collapse, but as it is, I can't do anything when Hannah falls on her side. The feeling of bugs on my skin replaced by something much worse. This is all too familiar. A memory that hasn't left me, even after all those years. She was sprawled on the ground, her hair like a golden halo as it curled around her. Her pale skin made her look so ghostly. I had the irrational thought that she would simply fade away. And she shakes. Oh, I was so worried that she would have started shaking again. Or shaking again like last time. I could do little but stare, so shocked and afraid. I was ready to call an ambulance, though she loathed the thought of going to a hospital. Oops. Mom, are you alright?
Don't worry, dear. I just fell. Can you get Mommy special candy from my drawer?
But this isn't my mother. There is no special candy because this isn't supposed to happen. She's never done this
Hannah?
before.
Are you alright?
Before I know it, I'm down on my knees. The cup shards dig into my legs, the leg of my pants, but I ignore them in favor of Hannah. She's warm, too warm, even if I try to shake her awake. A part of me says that it's a good thing. Better for her to be warm, to know that her blood still courses through her body, hot-blooded things that humans are. To know that she still lives, and that she isn't cold as death. I don't even realize it, but I'm screaming. Not until I'm pulled away. Not until I'm struggling in desperation as I refuse to leave Hannah's side. I cry to be let go, scratching, kicking, and doing something, doing everything but fighting the one who dares hold me back. The images of Mother, dead on her bed, flashes before my eyes. I need to do something. Anything. I don't want to be alone. Not again.
Hannah? Don't you fucking leave me! Oh God, wake up, Hannah!
Your blithering hysterics help no one, right? Now stay back before I knock you out.
I have to keep myself from lashing out, from strangling him for daring get in the way of my wife and I. But I remind myself that Shokurin was a doctor. He is here to help. He can help Hannah. But I will not accept excuse or suffering. I will not accept excuses or suffer no
Fix her stroking! Make sure she's alright! Because if she dies, so do you.
A stiff nod gives me the stiff nod he gives me probably the only guarantee that I have that he'll do his best. Keeping yourself from dying is the best incentive anyone can get. Even then, I cannot bring myself to rest easy. Deep breaths. Just take deep breaths. Panicking and murder isn't going to help Hannah right now.
How is she? What's wrong with her?
I really can't tell, not without further laboratory tests. It can range from anything to simple dehydration or exhaustion to philosophical syncope.
I have no clue what that last one is.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious. She has a high-grade fever that could very well shut down her body. We have to go and cool her down, see if we can get it under control.
Well, should we call for an ambulance?
If she doesn't wake up soon, yes. But it's best not to move her just yet, and...
Luke, on? What happened?
I have no plans of apologizing. I shoved the butler aside to check on Hannah. Though she still lay on the ground, all that matters is that she's awake, that she isn't dead. Just the thought of it, fuck, I don't know what I would have done if things were the contrary.
Hey there, sunshine. How are you feeling? Do you think you're up to standing?
I don't feel too good now, but I think I can stand.
She reaches out for my hand, and I'm quick to take it. Her cold and clammy skin is cause for concern, but I force a reassuring smile on my face. At least I hope it's reassuring. That isn't exactly an emotion I'm used to plastering on my face. I really have need to want to reassure anyone else. The most I can hope for is that I don't make her worry.
Come on, then, let's get you up. Careful, careful. We don't want you to fall or break something.
Like a leg or your head. Though getting her up on her feet is easier said than done, she claims that she can manage to stand, but she's completely dead weight as I lift her up. Weak. Too weak. I can feel the trembling of her body, as if just existing just existing had exhausted her. Soon enough, Shokurin aids me, and we manage to let Hannah on a chair without further incident. I have half a mind to wrench free and run. This is all too familiar, and I wanted no part in this. But do I have the choice? At the moment, I suppose, yes. I'm not running away. That's preposterous. I just need to get some air.
Shroukin, take her up to our room and take care of her, all right? Schedule an immediate appointment to a physician.
Okay, so Shroukin. Okay. Well, basically Shokurin. But Shroukin. Oh, fucking hell.
Shroukin, take her up to our room and take care of her, all right? Get it done. As soon as possible. I just need to...
Breathe. I just need to breathe. Gray skies loom over the horizon. Though the sun fights for every precious minute it gets to stay. It'll rain again soon, with the wind bringing along gloomy cloud. The gloomy clouds normal to Luxborn. Until then, it doesn't hurt to be out here for fresh air and sunshine. I walk to the gardens, what little of it there is at the moment anyway, and kneel by the daffodils. These were the first to be brought here and planted on my request. And if nothing else, they brought in a sense of peace. They were Mother's favorites. Closing my eyes, I lift my chin up and welcome the light that shines upon me. And for a moment, I can imagine myself as one of the flowers, peaceful, blooming, and all too happy to stand in its warmth. Life would be much easier if we were all like flowers, wouldn't it? But I didn't step out here to get all philosophical. I have problems much more practical than figuring out the meaning of life, after all. Too many things have gone on these past few days, and I want to forget about them, even for just a moment.
It's almost All Saints, isn't it? To think I'd almost forgotten.
I speak the words absent-mindedly. The date means nothing to me, as I neither worship the religion nor have any graves to visit, After all, Mother was never given a proper burial. But it's a date, as good as any, for me to grieve. Otherwise, otherwise I would have done so every single day, crippling myself and shutting everyone else out. I can remember how the flames licked at. I can remember how the flames licked at her flesh and how it consumed her body until there was nothing left but ash. I stood there watching, with the operator and the social service worker, though I could have been alone for all I cared. I felt alone. It was the most that could be done. No one would attend the funeral of a dead prostitute, let alone pay for it. All that's left for her, proof that she had lived, is her name written on the ledger of Luxbourne Cemetery. A lighter and me. Pulling out the lighter from my jacket, I can't stop myself from flicking it open and stare at the flame as I run a thumb over the name. All in all, it isn't much, but it's something. And it'll be wrong for me not to make something of myself when she would have given everything to make sure I can become anything I wanted to be.
Feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare right now.
If he only knew.
What I would give to have you here by my side, Mother dear. To see you smiling at me, alive and as beautiful as ever. I'm afraid I'm starting to forget what your face looks like. I've already forgotten the shade of your hair.
Eleanor Chandler. Wait, Chandler? Well then, how did he get the name right? Was that his foster parents? Or was that just a name that he came up with? Like, whatever. Eleanor Chandler was a beautiful woman, though not everyone would have agreed. Not everyone had seen past her occupation, past her vices and her illness. All they saw was a poor woman who sold her body to make ends meet, and had a bastard son because of it. They didn't see the mother who had worked hard to put food on the table for me, a woman who gave and gave and gave to me while expecting nothing in return. She taught me the merits of hard work, but though I loved her so, I worked hard for myself. I would not be so foolish, so selfless toward people who would never give back. I learned that from the father who plucked me out of an orphanage for his own selfish gain. I pocketed the lighter before I could feel the urge to automatically set something ablaze, or to actually set something ablaze. Considering my close proximity to the flowers, they would be the most likely victim of arson. But the thought itself is blasphemous. Nevertheless, that doesn't save them from being picked. Just enough to make a bouquet of things in honor of Eleanor.
Would you be proud of me if you saw me now, Mother? Maybe. You're always so forgiving. No matter what trouble I got into, more than I deserved. Especially now.
It's been a while since I talked to my mother like this. They say that even when our loved ones have passed on, they stay to watch over us. Though I believe in neither a heaven nor a hell, a hopeful part of me wishes it were true, as ridiculous as the idea is. I can't help but grow still, a chill going up my spine when I do feel eyes upon me. For a while I think I'm imagining it, but I'm all too familiar with the sensation of being watched. Carefully I scan my surroundings, doing my best not to give away the fact that I'm aware of their presence, whoever they are. But there's not a soul in sight on the fields surrounding the mansion. Yet there on the balcony overlooking the garden, got an achievement, Trickly Eyes. She's staring there, and though I cannot see her face clearly from afar, I know she is the one staring at me. A servant, if she were to be judged by the clothing. From a distance, I can't discern what those stains on her clothes are. The woman gives off a rabid air and simply does not belong with her surroundings. That isn't what worries me, though. What worries me is that she isn't one of ours. She can't be. Obvious signs of being tattered and dirty state aside, there shouldn't be anyone else in the mansion aside from the three of us. But that's the balcony that leads to our bedroom. Forget pretending I didn't notice her.
You! What are you doing there? You're not supposed to be there!
It's a stupid thing to do, I realize in hindsight, but calling attention to it was a spur-of-the-moment plan. From that height, there's no way she would have jumped from the balcony, and perhaps she would have been able to sneak up there because Hannah was asleep. Calling out to her would wake Hannah and, at the very least, call Johannes' attention to the matter at hand. I dread to think of any other way she could have gotten there without Hannah calling for us. The woman on the balcony doesn't react, barely even stirs. Probably drug-addled or touched in the head, though that begs the question of how she even managed to get in here. That changes nothing, of course. It doesn't stop me from running back into the mansion.
Broken! There's an intruder! In the bedroom! Upstairs! Secure Hannah immediately!
Bursting through the front doors, I'm greeted by Johannes with the kitchen knife in his hands, looking wary and alert. There's question on his lips for a moment, but he's quick to fall into place, giving me a curt nod before we rush up the foyer stairs. That woman would need to go through us to get anywhere. And between me and the butler, there's no way she's getting away. There's no announcing ourselves as I slam into the bedroom doors, expecting to see the worst inside. Then I find Hannah simply seated at her vanity without a care in the world. My relief can't be any greater. I don't even question if she's well enough to be moving around yet. But that is soon to be followed by suspicion and caution. Without a word, I signal for Johannes to search through the room for the intruder, even going so far as to slip into the second bedroom. She couldn't have gone anywhere else, not without getting our attention, not without Hannah noticing. It isn't too far-fetched to think that she may have been coerced to act like nothing is out of the ordinary. If she is being forced to do this, she would be able to tell me without alerting the criminal. She should be ready for such things, after all, being the wealthy, powerful, and influential people we are. And though I hesitate... Give me a second. God damn it, I can't get people to leave me the fuck alone. Every time I try to record, it's either someone tries to call me, someone texts me, or someone's like, Zachary, from downstairs. Oops. It's like I tell them I'm recording. It's like I make it very clear, hey, I'm recording. And it's like they make a special exception, or a special effort to go, Zachary, and fucking ruin it. And though I hesitate to break her peace and make her worry any more than she has the right to be, I know that matters of safety shouldn't be taken so lightly. Even if I could just content myself in just watching her.
Are you alright, Hannah?
There's a moment of silence as she fastens a cord around her neck, and with her back still turned to me, she replies as calmly as
Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? Is there something wrong?
Yeah, it's your fucking face. There's no sign of coercion or deceit. She gives none. Everything looks fine. Seems fine. And it says as much. Slipping out onto the balcony doesn't say anything differently. The outside is devoid of signs of any other human life, with how secluded the property is, though it is hard to be sure of how the sun has set. Trying to locate anyone on the large property by myself would be futile. Whether it is the truth or a convenient lie, one would only assume that everything is alright. And even Johannes is in agreement.
There's nobody in the second bedroom or in the closet. It's all clear.
Yeah, I can't fight this awful feeling that that has taken over me.
Are you sure? Nobody? Double check. Triple check everything. Check the whole house if you have to.
What's going on? What is all this then?
He claims to have seen an intruder standing on your balcony. Did you notice anyone here, madam?
No, it's just been me. I've not heard or seen anybody else aside from the two of you all day. Strange.
The others have been given the day off. There shouldn't be anybody else here. Are you sure of what you saw? Perhaps you were...
Yes, I bloody well am sure of what I saw. There was a woman standing there, dark hair and in servant's clothing. Are you insinuating that I am making things up? That I'm going mad? Because if you are, I don't care how competent you've been. I won't have such disrespect directed at me. It's not paranoia if people are out to get me.
My anger is easily roused, no thanks to the adrenaline rush that's kicked in sometime. I don't know when. I don't think I'll ever get used to the feeling, really. No matter how many a time I had to rely on it to survive in the streets as a child, to survive everything with how high I've managed to prop myself up, and I take any and all threats toward my person.
I'm not implying that you're mad. The occasional hallucination is a completely normal and human experience, as long as it isn't a repeat occurrence.
Oh, so what? That was a trick of the light? My imagination?
You haven't ingested any alcohol today, have you?
A valid question.
I am not drunk.
In my state, I only realize how quiet Hannah has gotten, and when she doesn't joke about my debatable alcoholism. There's no clever quip or words of fond exasperation. She's only been watching me through all of this. And when I notice that, I start feeling bugs crawl on my skin. When I don't deign to speak further, fixated on the sensation, Johannes cuts in.
Whatever the case, we need to establish tighter security. We should have done so from the start. If you were seeing things, then we got lucky. Had there been a real intruder, we were ill prepared.
Of course. I trust that you can hire the most qualified from the agency. Are you all right, Hannah? You seem disquieted.
I'm well, my love. I was just worried about how the hallucination brought you distress.
It wasn't a hallucination, I'm sure of it. But what can I do to prove otherwise?
Doesn't matter. You are safe, as am I. I overreacted.
Perhaps rest is necessary. It is late into the day, and you must be tired from your gardening.
Before I can ask how she knew what I was doing, a small, fond smile graces her lips before she brushes away the yellow petals from my sleeve. But does it really look like I'm that exhausted? I'm sure to be well rested despite it all, and it's not like I've been doing anything physically exhausting today. We only had like 2-3 hours of sleep. Beyond running here in a hurry anyway. No doubt I've let a trail of flowers. No doubt I've let a trail of the flowers in my mad dash. And I suppose I do look...
Rest sounds good. I guess I'll need to sleep a lot more than I thought. But I...
Thank you for the amazing voice acting. I'll stand guard outside for the night. You two have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. I'm not so sure about that. But thinking any more about it isn't going to do anything.
Come on then, my love. Off to bed. I have been restless without you by my side.
Even then, I can't force away the uneasiness that settles over me. Sleep is hard to attain, and even Hannah's embrace does not help. She's still burning up. Alright. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. This is going to be a short one. Because I honestly didn't really feel like recording today. I hadn't been... Devil May Cry comes out in, fuck it, say 4 days now. So I should have plenty of time to finish this before it comes out. So, anyway, if you liked the video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.